Hello and welcome to the Mission Shunya podcast. I am Girish Shivakumar. The biggest event of the year is right around the corner, the Indian elections. What are the two biggest parties promising in the clean tech space? We will find out right here to empower you to make the right choice when you turn out to vote. So let's begin with the grand old party, Congress, who released the manifesto first with literally a lot of promises. The very first thing that you will notice is that it has a separate subsection titled Environment and Climate Change, and yet another section titled Climate Resilience and Disaster Management. That's a positive sign. Beginning with the promises, it promises to develop a modern climate information system. Continuing on that front, it promises to enhance access to electricity in rural areas by encouraging investment in the off-grid renewable energy and aims to substitute LPG in homes by electricity and solar energy in the long term. In the meantime, it promises to monitor the price of LPG and mitigate through subsidies the burden of any price increase. On the policy front, it will formulate a policy to promote green energy in existing power plants and promises to reduce tariffs and lift barriers for clean technology. A policy on urban infrastructure with emphasis on metro, suburban rail, electric vehicles and non-motorized transport will also be formulated. Another new feature is the annual budget will adopt the core principles of green budgeting, a very first for India if it happens. To address pollution, it will strengthen National Clean Air Program and formulate a comprehensive land and water use policy. Similarly, it will double the budget allocation for cleaning the rivers and reintroduce Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan to ensure universal access to toilets. On the reorganization front, the big news is that Niti Aayog will be disbanded. It will constitute an independent environment protection authority like the EPA of US, which will replace all other bodies that exercise jurisdiction and powers. So, those were the major points from the Congress's manifesto. Now on to the ruling government, the BJP. At the time of this recording, BJP hasn't released its manifesto yet, but most of their programs and schemes in the clean tech space have been well defined, running up to 2022 and beyond. So the official manifesto will just be an addition to their existing programs. For someone who began his career during the previous UPA government, I can clearly say that the ambitions and targets of the UPA government were taken and amplified by a big factor by the current NDA government. Let's just begin with the National Solar Mission, which was first conceptualized in 2010 with a target of about 20 gigawatt by 2022. But it was scaled up to 175 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2022 by the current government. The current installations stand at about 80 gigawatt of cumulative RE in the country. Likewise, the previous government's target of 6 to 7 million of electric vehicle sales by 2020 have been amplified, and the current government intends to have about 30% of electric vehicle penetration by 2030. To this account, the current government in the first phase has set aside about 10,000 crores up to 2022 as an incentive package. Unlike the Congress manifesto, which calls to disband the BJP's think tank Niti Aayog, which has been in fact instrumental in setting policies in the space, the BJP has embraced all the major initiatives of the Congress from the previous years as its very own and taken it to a next level. Another example in this front is the EESL, or the Energy Efficiency Services Limited, which was formed in 2009 but has been fully utilized in the current government. First to promote the LED bulbs, then energy efficient appliances, smart meters, and later on to electric mobility. The 20,000 car procurement expects to save about 5 crore liters of fuel and about 5.5 lakh tons of CO2 emissions annually. Although no big steps have been taken to address the pollution issues, steps like promoting EVs, ban on single-use plastics, and the Clean Ganga program are a good start. the Swachh Bharat campaign, and the Saubhagya scheme that has now provided electricity to all households in the country are a notable mention. Also, another notable mention is India's firm commitment to the Paris Climate Agreement to reduce emissions by about 33 to 35% by 2030, and also the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In addition to continuing the old programs, new policies to reform the electricity sector like the Uday scheme and policies to promote emerging technologies like energy storage are underway now. Although from the common man's viewpoint, the Congress's intent to provide subsidy is an interesting value proposition, I have to mention that the budget allocations for all the schemes have gone up year on year under the current government. All said and done, I wouldn't want to take sides on a public platform, but as a clean tech professional, all I can say is that the momentum is surely high at this point in time. All the scenarios from around the world also seem to be favorable, and it will take a lot of undoing to bring India's clean tech transition to a halt. So why wait? Go ahead and cast your vote this summer, and hope this episode helps you make an informed decision. Signing off, this is Mission Shunya towards a zero carbon economy.